Hey Junior Giants, today is Fundamental Friday. It's also Orange Friday. I've got some of my orange on here and I've got my Giants hat ready to go. Hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend. Today I'm going to show you guys one of the fun things you can do indoors, very cost efficient, as well as a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the end product. So today we're going to be painting step by step what I believe is one of the most iconic landmarks in California and one of the most beautiful bridges in history. It is this San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. Today we're going to be drawing it with paint. I have my canvas back here and also some colors that we have to work with today. So along with the Golden Gate Bridge comes the sea and the sunset. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Today for the sea, make sure you guys have blue and make sure you have a little bit of white. And as for the sunset, hope you guys have a little bit of red, some orange, and some yellow. And for the bridge silhouette, you can have black or some kind of dark gray is also good too. And something else I want to share with you guys today are some of the tools we'll be needing to paint the bridge. So we have our big brush, middle brush, and our little brush here. So when I was learning how to paint, not very well actually, we had 3 different brushes, and so to give them fun names, I'm going to do that today too. So this is our big one, this is Papa Bear. We have our Mama Bear as the middle one, and we have our Baby Bear as a small little brush. So I'll be referring to those later on in the video. And if you guys only have one brush, don't worry. The painting itself is not too difficult, so any size brush will do, okay? So let's get started painting, guys, and I hope you follow along and have a great time doing it. Junior Giants, first thing we're gonna do, we have our canvas here. We're gonna take our blue and our white. We're gonna start with just blue and have Papa Bear stir it up a little bit, okay? So give it a nice little whirl. And let's start on the corners. So pick about middle-ish of the canvas and start going nice and long towards the center. Don't forget the sides. And we'll start brushing down a little bit, okay? Making our way down to the other corner. We're going to give our paint a nice little whirl again, and we're going to hit that bottom corner. We're going to start doing the other side and the other 2 corners finally. And you know, the top of your corners should be pretty darker than the other corners, or the other sides of the painting. So as you go down, you want to get a little bit lighter. And our last corner here, make it nice and dark. Painting the beautiful San Francisco Bay. Next step coming up, guys. Alrighty, Junior Giants, now that we've got our corners done here, we're going to go ahead and take the same exact color palette that we had. We have a little bit of white down here. We're just going to go ahead and take a tiny bit of blue and mix it with a tiny bit of white to make a lighter blue to color in the surface, okay? So give it a nice little mix. Make sure you have a shade that you like. And you can use Papa Bear for this one. And just kind of paint and color in the parts that we haven't had yet. Could use a little more blue, so I'm going to do that right now. Alright guys, looking at our painting so far, don't worry about it being not so straight at the very top, okay? Just like the ocean, it's not always a straight line, there's waves crashing all the time, and don't be too worried if you have white streaks going on. That actually makes it look a little bit more realistic, right? Because we have the foam coming up from the water in the bay, and it makes us look like there's some waves going on too. So that's our first part is done here. We can always add a little bit more later to it. We're going to actually, once we get the bridge going up. But next thing we're going to focus on now is our sunset. So again, remember for our sunset palette, we do have red, orange, and yellow, okay? Alright guys, so we're done with the sea portion of our painting today. So we can come back to it later on once we get our bridge going. We'll come back and explore some of the different things we can do with the sea. But for now, let's give our brushes a nice little wash in the cup. A cup of water will do, it's fine. Do not drink the water, I do not recommend that. But you can always use that to clean off your brushes. We will be using Papa Bear again for our sunset, so make sure that it is nice and clean. You can go ahead and set that cup down and go ahead and give it a nice little dry with the paper towel. So, alrighty, let's move on to our sunset, guys. Okay, Junior Giants, next we have this palette. I think some beautiful colors today, especially orange is one of the most beautiful colors in the world, right guys? And also I want to remind you guys that I am in no way artistically talented. I'm doing this just to have fun, and I hope you guys have a great time doing it as well. And I'd love to see actually some of yours, so if you go ahead and after you do this, just send them to our social media, send them to our Instagram. We would love to see your Golden Gate picture drawings, whether they're paint, whether they're just on, using colored pencil. As long as we're having fun, guys, that is the most important thing we can say today, okay? So next thing we're going to do, we're going to take Papa Bear. We have dipped him in the red paint, and we're going to start in the corners, top corners of our canvas, okay? Let's get to it. We'll go down maybe a quarter of the way with red. Alright, now that we have some of our red done, we can go ahead and start mixing our red with our orange to give us that darker orange feel that sunsets kind of do have. So let's take a little bit of red and a little bit of orange. And really start blending into the color of the sunset. And again, every sunset is different and unique in its own special way. If you want to add a little purple in your sunset, that works too. So you shouldn't notice a huge dramatic difference in the color change just yet. And so with this one, we're going to keep going all the way down and gradually just blend the colors so that it looks like a real sunset. Alright, Junior Giants, so at this point in time it should look something about there. So that's after you've had just your red, you've mixed a little bit of your red and orange, and you've had just a little bit of your orange here at the bottom too. So now, what to do next is we're going to have just our orange and our yellow mixed together, and we're going to start doing some of that color, okay? So it should almost look like a pumpkin, like a really bright pumpkin, okay? And we'll have that, we'll do a couple layers of that. So it should look something like this. We're getting gradually lighter as we go down, okay? And as you go along, make sure you're mixing more and more of the yellow. Yellow is a very subtle color, and even a little bit can make a lot of difference. So now we should be seeing a nice gradual blend of red, and almost like someone's turning on the brightness to red. So someone's turning up the brightness and adding more and more yellow to the mixture. So we're going from red all the way down to an orange, all the way down to like a pumpkin color, almost like a yellow and orange blend. Okay, Junior Giants, I've rinsed out Papa Bear. He is a brand new Papa Bear with a brand new set of fur. And we're gonna add a couple more layers of yellow to our final sunset, okay? Okay guys, another thing we can do, so our sunset looks great right now, but if you guys want to, you can always pick up Mama Bear, who's nice and dry, and leave Papa Bear out while he is drying up, and you can always go ahead and blend these as much as you want to make sure that we have the best looking sunset we can possibly get, okay? So with these, you want to make sure you blend enough to where you can't even tell where the other color begins and where the other color ends, okay? Alright guys, I think it's finally that time to paint our beautiful Golden Gate Bridge. So here I have my gray, or my dark gray. I tried to mix it as well as I could. We may have to go over it a few different times to make sure that it is as dark as possible. But if you have black at home, that is ideal. Make sure you guys keep that around. But right now, let's start out with a baby bear. It's his time to shine. So let's give our nice paintbrush a nice little whirl. And we're going to start off with the base of the bridge. So we're going to start here, and we're going to work our way down. So kind of like a curve, so we know that it's getting farther away as we go along, okay? So remember, using Baby Bear, we're going to start here at the end of the sunset. Going down that way, okay? We're going to go over it a few times. It's not going to be perfect every single time. Okay guys, now that we have our road drawn out, we can start drawing the pillars or the tower of the Golden Gate Bridge. So we're keeping Baby Bear in our hand. We're still using the same exact color we have. Again, we can go over it a few times to make it darker than we need to, or darker as we need to. But for right now, let's use Baby Bear, and we're going to start drawing those towers, okay? Remember, be patient with it. It's not going to be perfect. It might be perfect, actually. Mine is for sure not going to be perfect. But you guys can try your best, okay? So you want to start where about the orange, you can kind of see the orange happening. So for me, I can see the orange happening about here. So I'm going to draw this all the way down here and into the water. I'm going to go over it again to make it a little more dark. So I have that first one done. I'm going to put some more paint on Baby Bear. And I'm going to draw that second pillar, okay? You want that second pillar as parallel as possible. And then finally, guys, what goes along with this at our bottom part is the base. So all I gotta do is use Baby Bear and draw the base of the bridge at the very bottom like this. Great job, so we have this one done. We're gonna come back to it actually and fill in the other parts, but now we're gonna jump to the other side too, the other tower that we're gonna have in the background. So with this one, you obviously want to make it a little bit smaller, only because when we look at things from far away, they look smaller, right? Even though they might be the same size. But since this bridge or this pillar is far away for us, we're going to start making it a little smaller, okay? Make sure you got the right amount of paint on your Baby Bear. And we can start all the way over here, okay? Alright guys, next part of our Golden Gate Bridge, we're going to keep that same Baby Bear brush, we're going to keep that same color, and we're just going to add parts to the bridge, okay? So make sure you mix it nice and well. And we're going to use the side part of the brush, okay? So we're going to use the thinner part that goes along the canvas to draw the different parts of structure that are on the bridge itself. So we're going to start here. Doing a nice line like that. Maybe you can color it in, make it a little more pronounced. And then we're going to do one at the very tippy top, leaving a little bit of space, maybe about 1 centimeter of space. And then finally, we're going to put one right in the middle between those other two, okay? Remember, you can make them bigger, you can make them wider.
And we're going to do the same thing on the other side.
Alright, and if you guys have looked at the Golden Gate Bridge a couple times, you would notice that while there are the parts on the top above the road, if you look underneath, there are crisscrosses actually underneath the road of the bridge. So we're going to use a little amount of paint on our baby bear. And we're going to draw those crisscrosses, okay? So with this, guys, I'm using the very corner of the brush to make it really fine and really small. Okay guys, now that we've got most of our bridge done, there's still one really important part that we have to add to it. Probably what makes the bridge so famous is the suspension that it's on. So with this one, we want our baby bear to be as fine as possible. So if you want to wash it or if you want to take most of the other paint off of it, you can. And we're going to use the very corner of that brush like we have used before, okay? So we're finally going to draw the cables that help hold the bridge up, the suspension of it. So we're going to start here. Again, the very corner of the brush, guys. From the corner here, the side here, we're going to draw a line going up and reaching the top of our tower there. So we have that one connecting to the first tower. And we're going to pretend that same line connects to the other tower. So it's going to get really close to the bottom of the bridge. And it's going to go up to that first spot again. And then that last part of the line connects to what would be the other part of the bridge, but we don't have that part in our picture. So we're going to continue to draw that cable, okay? And try to put it off the page as much as possible. And then we'll work on the other part. So this starts out a little bit lower. So we're starting here and we're going to connect to that first part right, or that second part right there. So make sure you have enough paint on your baby bear. So it should make an X right there in the middle of that first open part of the bridge. Remember, take your time, fill it in. This part of the painting probably requires the very most amount of patience. It's very hard to get this correct and make it look as perfect as possible, but again guys, we're just having fun. And the second part connects here. So we're going to start at the very top of this tower. Again, make sure you have enough paint on your baby bear. And we're using the very side of it, okay? The very corner of the brush is going to make us have that more finer point to it. So we go from here. We're going to dip down, cross that part, probably around here, and then come back up. Again, we can make that more fine. We go back over it and make it a little more solid of a line. And then finally, for the last part, we're going to have it off the page. So we're going to go here and just across like that. Awesome. So the way it should look is that this line is the furthest away from us, and this line would be the closest to us. Okay, Junior Giants, I hope you guys are looking amazing with your bridge. I can't wait to see some of them when you guys send them to me. You can always email them, you can always text them, you can always just maybe put them up on Instagram and or Facebook, and I can go ahead and see what they look like. I know they're going to be fantastic pieces of artwork. But next thing we're going to do, one of the last parts of our bridge, is drawing those vertical lines that go up and down off of the suspension cables, excuse me. So we still have our baby bear, and one of his last jobs today is going to be painting the lines that go up and down here. We're going to do a couple, okay? You guys can always add more, you can add less. You can just kind of work with them and play around with your bridge, make it as unique and as beautiful as possible. So again, these are small, well, in comparison to our painting here, they're small. But you want to use the corner of your brush. So again, that fine part of your brush, you're going to go from the top, and you're just going to go down. One solid stroke, just like that. I'm going to do that a couple times. Alright guys, that about wraps it up for our bridge. We're going to add a couple different things on the side to make it a little bit more visually pleasant. You guys can choose whether or not you want to do this, but this is our bridge. Hopefully yours looks a little bit better than mine, but if not, that's okay guys. Remember, I hope you guys had fun during this. We got a couple more things coming with this one, okay? Alright guys, so if you check out our bridge right now, it looks pretty, I don't know, maybe pretty identical from here to here. Maybe yours does. But right now, we're going to move on to one of our other things we're going to do. So again, since it is sunset time, we are going to cast a shadow. Our bridge is a very big bridge, so it obviously casts a big shadow. So with this one, we are going to make sure that we have our shadow casted in the water, and we're just going to draw a couple squiggly lines here. Okay guys, after we add these squiggles to show our reflection in the water, we can just go ahead and play with everything else here. The main stuff is pretty much done today. But you can always add different waves into the water if you want to. Some of the beautiful white crashing waves. For me right now, I'm going to add a couple birds. So we have our friends the seagulls who like to show up in the 9th inning after the games and eat the rest of our garlic fries that we leave over. So I've got a bird there, and I think we should give him a friend. What do you guys think? I think it is important to have friends in life. So we'll give him a friend there. And if you guys want to touch up any different parts of your bridge, you can. You know, it takes time to shade in everything perfectly. So take your time with it, have fun with this, you guys. Okie doke, guys, that about does it today for our painting. I had a couple finishing touches here just to make it a little more fun, a little more unique. But I hope you guys had a great time doing this. I know I did. I hope yours turned out exactly how you wanted it to. Remember, it's not always going to be perfect, but it's the thing that counts, that we took the time to do it, to take our mind off some of the stuff that's happening today in our world. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys take the time to really enjoy this little things around you. I think that's what's really important right now. But I hope you guys had a great time doing this. I know I had a great time, and I hope to keep showing you guys some cool different ways that we can pass the time and become more connected with ourselves and with others around us. So hope you guys had a great day, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. This is Coach Dro, and go Junior Giants.